Welcome to this CSU Libraries video tutorial. In this particular tutorial, you're going to learn how to conduct basic searching in the GIL-Find catalog. This particular resource is very dynamic. It will allow you to meet a lot of your information needs, whether you're looking for books, whether they're print or ebooks, or whether they're journals or journal articles and any other type of resources. And what makes it so dynamic is that it is connected also with our database collection, our Galileo database collection. And there'll be a separate video for the Galileo resource as well. But to get started, you need to know the many different ways in which you can access this particular resource. In order to do that, I'm going to show you two ways. Basically, you can get your way to the CSU University homepage. And so from there, you're going to choose academics, and you're going to see an option for libraries. Just go ahead and click that. This is the library homepage. And from here in the blue resources box, you see this right here? This will give you a list of a lot of the library resources. So for example, you'll see Galileo databases listed here, which we're going to talk about a bit later. And also you find a link for the GIL-Find catalog. Now, so what happens also is sometimes you may not want to go to the CSU homepage and get to the library that way. Another way you can do that is to actually log into your My CSU account. Once you do that, you're going to get to your homepage, but over to the right, to the left, you're going to see a link labeled Campus Information. Once you click that, you're going to see down below here a link for library here that you can access the library homepage, or down here below where it says library, you're going to see a list of library resources, and here we find GIL-Find catalogs. So for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to click that. Now again, this is a really dynamic resource. It's a new catalog that we just migrated to in May of 2017. So very dynamic. It's not like the older platform that we used. So what I'm going to do is show you a few different ways to access and leverage this particular tool to find information that you need. Now, remember, this is an access tool, and because we're finding more and more information online, access tools are like databases or what have you that allow you to gain access to a resource. For example, a dictionary is an access tool. A bibliography, a print bibliography is an access tool because it allows you access to different citations on different subject matters. Okay, but this is just an electronic access tool. So to get started, let's conduct some simple searches here, and we're going to show you how to navigate this resource. So let's say that we do a library search, and let's choose a simple search: psychology and happiness. Just two keywords. In this lesson, please be sure that you read and understand how Boolean terms work. Boolean terms and, or, and not help you to anchor your search, and it actually allows you to communicate with the database and say, hey, with these keywords that I'm using, I want you to bring together these results in this particular way. So for example, psychology and happiness helps you to narrow your search and ask the database to bring back resources that include both terms. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and submit this search and see what happens. Now, if we look here, we have brought up results where psychology is mentioned, happiness is mentioned. Let's see, exploring happiness, engineering happiness, a new approach for building a joyful life. Now, I want to explain something about the results that we've brought up here. It doesn't mean that it's looking for psychology and happiness in the title of the items that we've pulled up, whether they're online books or whether they're print books. And we'll get into that in a moment. It's just saying, first of all, I see right here, I don't see happiness in this title here. Okay, but concerning psychology, this particular piece or this specific part of this topic, happiness, should be included within this book somewhere. Let's see, law and happiness, engineering happiness. Okay, this is all related to psychology in some way. And you're just going to have to go through and find and evaluate the resources and choose the ones that are relevant for your information needs. So that's how that and works. And over here to the left, this is a a menu guide that can help you sort your way through the results, especially if you bring up a lot of them. Because if we look here, this search netted us 321 results. So let's see here. You can also whittle down, or you can customize this list of results by classification. And again, you should be able to understand classification systems as well. So for example, some of the books that are listed here are related to the subject area of philosophy, psychology, and religion. It's probably psychology. Some of them cover psychology in the context of social sciences, medicine, science, and language. And what you're going to see here are the different number of books for each area. So if you want to just look at, let's say, the medical aspects of this particular topic, if you click this, you're going to just see the 45 that are listed there. So that makes your search very sufficient. And of course, you get author and other related subject matter. But let's treat this quite differently. Let's go ahead and do another search. Let's take and out, and let's put in not. Psychology, not happiness. We're asking the database to find topics concerning psychology, but that do not include or talk about happiness. So if we click search here, so again, that not helps us to exclude what we don't want in a search. So I've pulled up 24,000 results. None of them should have anything to do with psychology and happiness, but just a lot of other different psychology topics. So for example, another search you can do, let's just say if you did like South America, not Brazil. Okay. Somehow the two terms that you use have to be related to each other, or something that would tend to come up in a particular search. So what will not work, and please pay attention, what will not work if you did a search like cats, not dogs. If you're doing a search for cats, inherently dogs will not come up. So that's an unnecessary search. But let's say if you chose like cats, not medicine, or not disease, that's different. Okay, and you'll need to play with this search and kind of mess with it so you can understand how it works when you're conducting research. We're going to choose another search, and let's say here we're going to choose, I want to take happiness out because now we need to use the example of or. Okay, and I'm going to use the example here, psychology or psyche. Again, big note, this or should only be used if the terms are related to each other, which means if they're synonymous. So for example, I can say cat or feline because they both mean the same thing. I can use dog or canine. Okay, I can't use a search that would not make sense is if I use apples or bananas. They're not synonymous. They're not meaning the same thing. When you use a term or, you're trying to make sure that you cover whichever keyword that you use, the broadest sense of that term. Okay. For example, you could say teenagers or adolescents. They mean the same thing. So here we have psychology or psyche. So if we look at our results here, let me go ahead and just choose search. And we pull up 25,000. This is a lot. So we can even detail this a little bit further and put another term if we want to kind of whittle it down. But let's just look here for the sake of this example. So we see titles that come up with the term psychology, but also with psyche. Let's see this one, spirit and psyche, a new paradigm for psychology, psychoanalysis, blah, 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 blah. Psychology and human nature. So all of these terms are listed here. But let's say we want to do another kind of search. It's another technique or strategy, search strategy, that can help you find what you're looking for. So let's say we take out psychology and let's say we're looking for the term psyche, but if we put an asterisk by it, this allows us to truncate this search in such a way that we're looking for all forms of this term. I'll give you an example. Let's say we had the term woman and we put an asterisk there. That means that in our search we're looking for different forms of woman, like women, okay, plural, singular, what have you, or maybe ladies. Okay, that should come up in the search. But we're going to choose psyche just to show you how this particular search works. So again, I'm choosing books, pulling up books. Let's see, there's 655 of them with the term psyche in it. But are there any other variations? And look, I find here psychedelic psychiatry. LSD from clinic to campus. That's interesting. Occupied Minds, a journey through the Israeli psyche. So we get a lot of stuff here, and we do get a different form of this term in the form of the word psychedelic or psychedelics here. That's a different way. Again, the only way you're going to get better at this is if you play with it. Okay. So example, if we put in man and put it in asterisk, then we pull up our search, we see a lot of different words for man. So you got to be careful, which is why I chose this example. There's manual, there's manufacturing, there's management, there's managers. But did we mean to pull this up? No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to men and truncate that. Let's see what kind of search we come up for. Now this is getting closer. Men, mental. And again, anything that comes up that's not relevant, then you can just ignore it. But this right here is getting closer. Men's Health magazine. Okay. Feminism and men. All right. Now we're going to switch and we're going to go ahead and do another search that I want to demonstrate for you. And that's the subject search and the author search. So what I want to do here is go to browse, the browsing search. So let's say we want to browse. I want to put in a name of an author, one of my favorite authors. Her name is Octavia Butler. So when I put in an author's name, I got to put in the last name first and then the first name. So I have to invert it. And let's say I want to search her name as a subject. So I want to find books about her writing. So I'm going to choose browse. So let me browse some subjects. And what I like about this search, it allows you to see the expanse of your topic, the different subtopics that are related. So I'm scrolling down here. I'm not finding the Octavia Butler that I'm looking for. Let me make sure that I spelt this right, because that's important too. There she is. Now, if I wanted to find works written about her works, then for example, I'm doing literary research, I may want to look into this particular subtopic, criticism and interpretation. So I'm going to choose that. And it's going to give me a list of books that provide criticism and analysis of some of her works. Okay. Changing Bodies in the Fiction of Octavia Butler, Changing Bodies. That's another title. As a matter of fact, it's the same title. This one here is available at the library in print format. This book here is available as an ebook. So you can click that to view it, and you can go to the database there and link you to the database so you can view that ebook online. Now let's say I wanted to do another search. Let's say that I wanted to search Octavia Butler as an author. I could change it to author here, and I should be able to find a list of books written by this author. And here I have Octavia Butler, 16 titles. I want to look into that. And of course here I get a list of all of her titles that the library owns. Again, be sure you pay attention to format. Some books may be available in print, which means you have to come to the library and get it. Also, there are other books that are available online. They're ebooks, and it should say online when you see that. Okay. So right now, this here is part one of learning to search the GIL-Find catalog by using certain search strategies to leverage this resource to fulfill your information needs. This is part one. Please follow through to the next video, part two, on the GIL-Find catalog.